Hail, Holy Queen, enthroned above, O Mariya. Hail, Mother, mercy and of love, O Mariya. Triumphal, ye cherubim, sing with us, ye seraphim. Heaven and earth resound the hymn. Salve, salve, salve Regina.
My name is Mariya Morgan, and I am a cradle Catholic. I didn't have much knowledge of the Catholic Church when I was very young. That was because I didn't go to the Catholic school. That was because there was a war on, and we went to the nearest school. We went to church every Sunday, and that's about all I can really remember on a young age of the Catholic Church. When I was 7, the war was over. My father came home and we moved. That was my first encounter with a Catholic school. My father taught me a simple, strong faith, and the teachers in the school taught me the Bible, all about Mary. They taught Mass, my prayers. And for some reason, I just loved the month of May. It was my favourite month in the whole year. And I loved the May processions that we had then. And when I was a teenager, I was allowed to carry Our Lady on my shoulder around the park with the children of Mary. Life went on. I left school. When I was 17, my father, my brother and myself went to Italy. It was the first time I'd met his family. And my uncle Tommaso knew all about the saints and had a big devotion to Our Lady. He took us to the shrine of the Black Madonna. Little did I know, when he told me that story of the Black Madonna, how much I would need her in years to come. Time went by, I got married, had a family, had 3 children, and everything was fine. I passed my faith on to my children, and we were happy. It was a good life. Then things went very, very wrong. My youngest child, my son, was taken very seriously ill. And I knew that this was really bad, what was going on here, and I wondering to know, what am I going to do here? My friends prayed for me. My family prayed. We all prayed for my son. People from other denominations prayed. It wasn't quite enough, and I thought, yes, everybody's praying, I need something more. Then I remembered something that my father said when we were in a conversation one day. If a mother can't or won't help her children, who is going to? And I thought, yes, I must turn to our Blessed Mother and ask her to intercede to Jesus for me. After all, there is nothing in this life that our Blessed Mother has not suffered. And I said to my father, phone your brother, ask him to make a pilgrimage for us up to the Black Madonna and ask her to intercede for my son, which he did willingly, as he had this great devotion to our Blessed Mother.
The blessed, thy glory proclaim. On earth be thy children, invoke thy fair name. Ave, 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 Maria. Ave, ave, Maria.
Time went on. He was very ill. It was a very bad time for us as a family. And in this time, we were saying the rosary, and my devotion to Our Lady became greater, and I thought, you have to trust our Blessed Mother. This is not the time to say, why me? This is a time to trust. The doctor said to me, we are 4 steps forward and 3 back. And I said, thank God for that one step forward all the time. This went on for years. We had a long time of worry for it, but deeper and deeper, the rosary was coming into my life, and I started saying to Our Lady, I'm trusting you, and please help me with my son. And he did get better. It went on years, and he has to live with the situation, and that's fine. Years after, my family, they got married, and my son, he went out to Africa to work with his wife. Again, it was a troubling time because I knew this problem he had was ongoing, and would doctors be there that were able to cope with this? You just have to sit back as a mother and trust. So he went off to Africa, and he worked in Lesotho. And one night, war broke out in Lesotho. Suddenly, there was guns everywhere. And we had a phone call to say there was war there, and the army had to go in and bring them out to Lesotho. And they all came out safe. Later on in life, a couple of years on, he went to work in another part of Africa, worked for a big company. And in the middle of the night, there was a break-in on the camp. Machetes, guns. They had a machete in their door. His friends were beaten up. And it was a bad situation. Suddenly, these people left the camp for no reason. And my son had to go looking for his friend Martin, who had gone into the edge of the jungle. And he was dazed, he was beaten so badly, and got all the people from the camp together. And he realized that in defending his wife, his arm was broken with the butt of a rifle. They went off to the hospital. Now, all this time that they had been out here, I always prayed the rosary for them. But I didn't just pray it for my son and daughter-in-law. I prayed it for all his friends, because they were all in a strange country. And I always prayed, ask the Blessed Mother to keep them safe, ask the guardian angels look after all of the boys. And I feel that through my praying that rosary, that they came out of a very bad situation with the best possible result. No one was killed. They all came out of it. And then life settled down a bit again, and somebody asked me to go to Lourdes to look after children who were less fortunate than my own. And I went with them, and it was my first real encounter with the people in Mass saying the rosary. And it just felt so right, and it felt so strong that all these people were here, and all these children who were less fortunate, seeing each other and accepting their situation. Many years on, somebody gave me a book on Medjugorje, and I read it. I passed it to a friend of mine called Rosa, and I said, see what you think of that. And within days, we were booked to go out to Medjugorje. All this time, my rosary was still continuing, this relationship building up with the Madonna. We went out to Medjugorje, and that's when the true power of the rosary hit me. There were confessional boxes, 50, 60, priests saying confession in the open air. There were so many people there for confession. People climbing the hill barefoot, saying the rosary. The churches packed to capacity. The adoration on one of the evenings in front of the Blessed Sacrament with about 5,000 people there, and you could hear a pin drop. Except for now and again, you would hear someone sobbing. And Medjugorje became for me the strength again of my rosary. It reiterated how strong the rosary was. People going up to Blue Cross, sitting there, just praying the rosary. This year, I am going to Medjugorje again on pilgrimage because the Holy Father have called for a pilgrim year, and I'm going. But I know that although I'm going to Medjugorje in privilege on this pilgrimage, I really don't have to go there to be with Our Lady, because whenever I need her, she is here with me. So Our Lady asks us something very simple, really, for what she gives us. She don't ask us for nothing, but she asks us to pray, pray and pray. She asks us to pray for our families, pray for our priests, pray for our youth, and pray for world peace. And I think this is what we all have to do, is pray for these 4 things. And there's sometimes when I'm doing my rosary, I pray for my friends, people who are sick and everything, and I'll say to Our Lady, I'm giving you all these people, Blessed Mother. I want you to pray for them, and I will pray for your intentions.
Thy virtues are light, thy love is our comfort, thy pleading our might. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Ave, Ave Maria. Ave, Ave, Ave Maria. Ave, Ave Maria.
The most famous icon in the history of Poland is by far the Jasna Gora, the Our Lady of Częstochowa image that is known for its famous scar on her cheek. Her image is everywhere, and that scar on her cheek is on every single image ever produced of Our Lady of Częstochowa. It is part of that image. It's an image of suffering. The suffering Virgin Mary, the dark Virgin, the black Virgin Mary, is known as the suffering Virgin by the people of Poland. It is considered the greatest image in the history of Poland. And there's a legend that Vladislav II, he had taken this image and hung it outside the walls of his castle. In the year 1382, he brought it back inside the walls of his castle, and on August 22nd, he mounted it there for display. In the year 1430, that castle was sacked by Hussite raiders, and they took everything of value in that castle, including the famed image of Our Lady of Częstochowa. Legend goes that as they tried to escape, their carriages became slower and slower and slower because that image became heavier and heavier and heavier. In frustration, they either slashed the cheek of that image or they tossed it into a ravine, gouging the image, thus resulting in that iconic scar on the cheek of Our Lady of Częstochowa. Our Lady of Częstochowa is known as an icon of suffering to the people of Poland, and as a result, she's been honored throughout the ages there. August 26th, that same date that Vladislav II installed that image in his castle, is now known as the feast day of Our Lady of Częstochowa. John Paul II, our famed Polish pontiff, had a great devotion to Our Lady of Częstochowa, and he visited the shrine there 4 times. Our Lady of Częstochowa will go down in history as the greatest image in the history of the Church of Poland.
Who is this one shining in the dark? Who is this one clothed with the sun? Who is this one with the moon under her feet? She's the mother of all. She is the mother